Hi, I'm Marty Noxon. No, I'm David Fury, co-executive producer, Buffy.
And I'm David Fury.
Hey.
Hey, I'm Marti Noxon, executive producer, Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
And we are the writers of this episode.
Which was not actually written as a two-parter to begin with. It was not the
No,
case. It was
no,
when
no.
we went to UPN, they came at us after we had already begun to break these stories and said, we would like a 2-hour Buffy event. And we said, well, okay, if you run these back-to-back, they will be a 2-hour Buffy event.
I think the changes fell mostly to me because I don't think I had really what amounted to a big climactic end to a 2-hour movie. So I think we took a much smaller ending and made it much bigger.
You, 6 o'clock.
I'll tell you, just as we're watching this, I'm watching the part where Willow's up there being all psychic and stuff. And I remember when Joss pitched that Willow was psychic. And I was like, well, isn't that going to throw a monkey wrench and everything? Because she'll be able to talk to people in their heads throughout the whole series. And like many things we've done on Buffy, she used it a couple times, and then she seemed to forget she had the ability. Just...
whatever's convenient.
Yeah, exactly. She knows she can still mind talk, but it doesn't happen very often. That's not really Sarah, by the way. That was a butt double.
No, it was a great butt double.
Yeah. She's a great butt double. We bring that girl in.
I remember that was a shot that Doug Petrie actually really wanted.
Oh,
The
yeah, that's
shot
right.
Looking through the lens.
Yeah.
Yes, he said, we need that shot.
That makes her a heroic goal. But here's something I can tell you guys. This season was notorious at the beginning because Emma, who plays Anya, decided over the break to get long blonde hair that looked exactly the same as Sarah's. And she also decided that she would like some costume changes so she would look exactly the same as Sarah. And we started looking at dailies for this episode and realized that when from behind you could not tell Buffy and Sarah from each other in many
Buffy
cases.
and
I
Emma.
mean, Buffy and Emma from each other in many cases. And it causes quite a deal of strife. And you will notice if you watch the other episodes of the show that her hair changes quite dramatically.
Many times.
Many times
many
after
lengths.
this. And obviously we were trying to play a big mislead here. I mean, even though people knew Buffy was dead, we wondered if they had kind of forgotten about the robot, the Sarah robot. And this whole thing was, oh gosh, maybe she's just back and we'll explain it away later. But no, in fact, she's not Buffy.
Right.
She's the Buffy bot.
Yeah, I remember that gag was something that we had trouble making work. The idea that Spike jumped on the guy's back, but it was ostensibly to set him afire. But it wasn't quite reading somehow the way we staged it.
Nope. As often happens, you see something in your head one way and then you get it on film and not quite the same. So sometimes you give stuff up and you just cut it the best you can, which is sort of what that ended up being. See, now you could have easily thought that was Sarah.
Yeah, that was
that was where we went, uh-oh,
right.
we have a little problem.
Oh, there's Buffy.
Yeah. Fortunately, Sarah came back with slightly different colored hair. It was more honey colored, so, you know.
Which posed its own problem because Buffy dead had a different hair color. So somehow in the grave her hair changed colors.
Well, you know,
when she
there's
came
some
back.
great stylists in the Beyond. Yeah. That's always a fun thing about coming back into a new season.
Okay, you have to comment on that line.
Which was
that'll
the line
put some marzipan in your pie plate
Play
bingo.
bingo.
Where did that one come from again?
The fact that the Buffy bot was supposed to be misfiring, and it was actually a little shout out to our writer Jane Espenson because she for some reason thinks the word marzipan is really funny. So
She's not wrong.
because she's weird. Oh, and this was a reshoot.
That's right, because we didn't have
right.
close-ups on them.
Yeah.
We had it as a one shot of everybody.
And
it
this
wasn't
is
playing
when
emotionally.
Yep. This is a whole important thing because it's the first time they really talk about the fact that Buffy, the real Buffy, is dead. And we wanted to see on their faces, pain, angst, all of our Buffy season 6 hallmarks.
Right.
And instead we had this one big long shot. And we had this joke which which I don't know. Did it ever work, David?
Not quite, but you had to give us points for
trying.
Yeah.
That's right. Here's the opening credits.
Which were always great.
Next year, the great thing is that the mustard gal and the dry cleaning guy from the musical, they're going to be featured in the credits.
Oh, they were great.
God, aren't they amazing?
We got to get those kids back.
Yeah, they're hard to get though.
Really?
Yeah, they're on like an American Idol type
No
tour.
kidding.
Yeah. They don't have many stuff. They don't have a lot to sing.
They deserve all the success they get.
It's true. Grab those 15 minutes. What can we say? What can we say about the credits? Doesn't the show rock?
We have such a great job.
Power shot?
Which changes. We try to change this often every year.
Yeah, Joss will film something. He'll say, okay, this will be the power shot for the montage this year, for the opening credits.
This is great. I remember this was all Steadicam, wasn't it? This whole thing played out in Steadicam.
Yeah, because it was
It's all
supposed to
one
be.
shot. So
It was supposed to be frantic. They're not exactly frantic.
No, but still, she's still moving in and out of rooms.
Yeah.
Just remember this. This is all one shot. And that's always a challenge because everybody has to be exactly on.
No, David Grossman is amazing. It's too bad he can't talk because he could actually tell you things that matter. Well, just make lame jokes and stuff. But he's the
That's the
director
first
of this
cut,
episode, and he did both, right?
Right.
Yeah, he's amazing. And wait, and doesn't this begin the season of the number shirts?
Yes. Yes.
There you are. Hi, David.
Right, you should be watching that. This whole season is people are wearing numbers. There,
Yeah,
number
hi,
11.
Number 11. Number 11.
And fans invariably find meaning in everything we do. And this was, we can confirm now that it was just purely an accident of fashion.
Yeah, it just so happened.
Numbered clothes just happened to be in.
But there was one scene where Nikki was wearing like a 13, and
Yeah, I think
Allie was
Slater.
wearing a 9, or maybe she's wearing this 11, and someone else is wearing like a 6.
Yeah, I think it comes up in the airport or something later.
Yeah. Obviously, this scene was all about how wacky it is living with a robot. Oh, here he is, number 13.
They're right. That's
What
the
does it
second number there.
mean? We're
13,
sending signals
11.
to our fans.
And that's 24.
Yeah, it adds up. What does that mean? Divided by 3, it indicates the number of years that Buffy and Spike will soon be together in holy matrimony. What else can we tell you about this?
This was the funny mountain of peanut butter sandwiches.
Yeah, always a comedy staple, the mountain, when someone makes more sandwiches than people need.
I think Sarah had a lot of fun playing the robot.
Yes, yeah.
She always seemed to enjoy it, didn't she?
Well, she got to be perky in a pretty mopey season, that's for sure.
That's true.
Yeah. I mean, we should address here the mopiness of season 6.
Well, let's not spoil it for everyone who are going to experience the mopiness of season 6 as they watch this DVD.
But intensely sexual hijinks as well,
it was a very important. I've said this before. Buffy is coming out of her grave, and something Joss said last year when he was asked about it, when word got out we were killing Buffy, was that when we bring her back, we're going to earn it.
Right.
We're not going to make any quick fixes. We're not going to do any. It was all a dream, or she's back, and after an episode, it's all back to normal.
Right.
He wanted to explore the weight of that experience.
Yeah.
Of her having to be thrust back into this world.
Right, and he was Joss was aware from the beginning that Buffy's, Sarah's character was going to come back from a better place, not a bad place. We were teasing that out for quite a couple of episodes, but the idea was that she'd actually been in heaven, not in hell, or in a place like Angel had been, so that making the adjustment was going to be really tough for her. But one of the things we then set up for the character was that for a good part of this year, she was really going to be just hating life in varying degrees. So the robot was great for Sarah because it did give her complete relief. She could just be sort of, happily brainless and pretty.
Yes, and like anything that's a nice, pleasant relief on the show, we kill it.
Absolutely. You bet, because, happiness.
The Buffy bot was doomed as soon as it...
Not only do we kill it, we rip it into shreds.
Yeah.
But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Hopefully you watched this episode without our nattering before We're not
No,
going to
no,
spoil
it's
any
all about
surprises.
it's all about the nattering.
In fact, turn off the images. Just listen to our sultry voices. Here's a. Oh no, I'm not gonna say that. No, I'm not gonna say that. Self-censoring here on Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
I think at the parent-teacher conference, I think might have been my contribution, just because as a parent,
You actually know what those are.
yeah, and we were just talking about what could Buffy Bot have to do now that's pretending to be Buffy,
Right?
other than just be the Slayer, and.
Right. That's our back lot. What you just saw, the magic
Yeah,
box.
that's right behind our offices.
Yep, we are. Joss's window looks down the main street of Sunnydale, which is actually about, I don't know, less than a city block long.
Oh, easily.
Easily less.
Less than 100 yards, I think.
Yeah. It's all kind of miniature too. And when you actually stand there, it looks
Yeah.
like Disneyland.
Yeah,
It looks
anybody who visits is amazed that we make it look like this town square, this little thing.
yeah. Well,
The cemetery too, the graveyard when we shot in there. People would be shocked to see it's just this small plot of land with some tombstones on it.
well, it's all about lenses and
Movie magic.
See, look, Sarah Hare. Sarah Hare. That's not fair, Sarah Hare. Look at that.
Yeah, you're rhyming. This is funny. Tony and Emma were really good together.
Yeah,
they
they
were
are.
fun. They were great in Tabula Rasa.
Yeah, but we shouldn't talk about that episode.
Oh, sorry.
We're jumping ahead.
Forget Tabula Rasa. Forget I even mentioned them.
It's not.
What's pertinent are the numbers.
I'm trying to think if there's any good behind-the-scene quippage here. Nope, not really. Isn't she cute? I can tell you the other thing that was interesting about these episodes, the first few of the season, was that Joss was not around at all. He was still on the Cape writing the musical music. He kind of made a big announcement at the end of season 5 that he was going away for a while just to chill out and become Sondheim in his own way, which scarily he did, because big scary genius. And so we were all on our own, and that was really something.
Let's not forget to mention his sexual prowess. As long as we're calling him
right. Sorry. This mic kind of reminded me of Joss's sexual prowess. Joss wanted us very much to bring that up today because he feels that people haven't really mentioned that enough. I'm glad that you brought it up and not me, David.
Well, yeah.
Joss's sexual prowess. Well, what did you want to say about that?
It's big. And now back to the show.
Anyway, we were all missing his sexual prowess because he wasn't around. And,
yes, that's right. And we had broken these stories back in season 5 at the end, and when Joss went away. But he was very much, he read them, he gave notes over the phone.
Yeah.
So.
And it was the first time, I mean, I had soloed, without him, for days, but not for full episodes. And I was sweating it, I gotta say. It was, the first time I'd had to kind of make sure that things were running. And fortunately, by this time, season 6, everybody was really on their game. Everybody knew what was going on. And I found that, there's still minor disasters every single day, and a lot of fires you end up putting out, but it's great to work with people who know what they're doing, and it wasn't as scary as it first appeared, especially with David Grossman being the director. He's phenomenal, and David Fury being the writer and producer, so we worked together, but it was the first time.
That was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun to be on set that much because, as I said, David's really a great director, and it's fun to watch him. Well, one thing we were definitely aware of after we shot this scene was that Dawn is definitely straddling that age where she's not yet a girl, not yet a woman. What is it? Not a girl, not yet a woman. There were places where we looked at the scene and went, God, she's really becoming very sexy in her own way, and she has, I think, some stance or her cross-legged kind of looking at Spike where you're like, maybe we shouldn't have them sitting so close together after this. In the first cut of this scene, it was about a 4-minute scene with this extra walk along because she was just really pretty, and the editors.
She must have come out of model school.
Yeah, exactly.
Sunnydale Model Academy.
Yeah, we cut it way back.
This actor, I'm trying to think of his name.
He's a comedian, right?
Yeah, he's a very funny comic actor. I believe he's in
Extra. That was not him, by the way. That was not Extra. Stunt guy.
He was kind of a supporting player on the Kids in the Hall. He would be like a recurring.
Yeah, he was a riot. Although the gag coming up, it never quite worked.
No.
It was one of those things that was funny on the page. I have to take credit for the Hanson T-shirt. I did write that into the script. I wanted him to be, not that Hanson is lame-ass, but I wanted him to be not the most intimidating vampire. And that just never worked, man.
No.
See,
and that's a reshoot. And that was the reshoot.
That was the reshoot of the shoot that really didn't work. So you can imagine the lameness. But see, the joke, it would have been funny, guys. I hope you give me just the bit. That kind of works at the end there. But I guess if we'd built a real Sarah robot and pushed her into that thing, and I was thinking of how little toy,
Yeah.
And there's the urn of phlebotinum. On our show, phlebotinum means the kind of excuse we have for getting to the next plot point.
It's the magical MacGuffin.
The magical MacGuffin, indeed. It's something we make up to sort of explain why something works, or in this case, we needed there to be only one way and one chance for them to raise Buffy, to sort of raise the stakes. And so we had to explain that they got this magical urn on eBay, but that there was none other. And if it didn't work, that was it. There was no other chance. So, and of course, it looks like something you'd pick up at a trading post at the Grand Canyon. Yes. At Urns Are Us.
Pottery Barn.
So that's. Oh yeah, this is the scene where 11 and 13 have a big standoff.
There's the 11-13. 13 versus 11. Who will win?
And we did get mail too from people really asking, "What's this about?" Turned out the costume designer just didn't really occur to her that there'd be.
I think Dawn is number 9 in the next scene. I believe. I'm pretty sure.
Yes, indeed, she is. Oh, act out. So that's where.
Well, this is one of my favorite commercials. Sorry.
Big surprise. We're going to try to bring Buffy back. I have to say that, I kind of thought, I'm going to be honest here, I thought we were a little lame for, just having Buffy come back with a spell. I thought we should have, well, she does sacrifice something later on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
no,
just
I don't think it was
thought,
that. Well,
I don't know. I kind of thought that looking back on it, I was like, was that enough? I mean, is that enough
you
to
want to
buy
be a
back?
lot more steps to actually
Yeah,
bring
or
her
not
back?
steps, not more moves, but just, it seemed like they should have had to go to the great god Garganzen or something,
What we had talked about one time, an early version was they were going to go into the underworld and bring her back.
Right,
I think that was an
right.
early version when we knew Buffy would be dead.
Of course, we'd already been to hell, and it looked like a Pat Benatar video. So
Right.
maybe that was sort of a discouraging factor.
Yeah, one of the
there.
fantasies I remember was the idea of shooting it in Australia, because I think we have a studio down in Australia.
Well,
so
we
I
met
thought,
George Lucas. George Lucas
That's
came
right.
to the set.
Yes.
During season 5, was it? I think it was season 5.
Yeah.
One of his daughters is a crazy Buffy fan, and when you're George Lucas, all you have to do is call up and call Sarah Michelle Gellar, is what he did, and say, "Hi,
It's George Lucas.
this is George Lucas.
I'm coming over.
I'm coming over," and Sarah goes, "Woo!" And then he came over, and of course, we all found a reason to go to the set that day. We just stood around him in a clump, admiring him, and he was really nice. He was very, very friendly, and kind of started saying, "Yeah, well, I'm going to be shooting the what is it, Phantom Menace? Which was the last one?
It was Phantom Menace, but
Phantom
he was shooting the next one.
Yeah.
He was shooting,
What was the second one?
The second one was
The
called,
one that just came out.
Yes, that was, of course, the Attack of the Clones.
Return of
Attack of the Clones.
Return of the Clones of the Empire.
Yes.
And he said, "Why don't you come out to Australia and shoot out there?
Right.
And we'll hang out." And for a brief moment, Allie and Joss were pretty much booking their plane tickets. They were going. They did, however, end up going and participating in a celebrity car race, some kind of thing with George Lucas. That was a reshoot as well.
Yes, it was.
We had a lot of problems with
We
the
didn't
robot
have the
walking into
reversal.
stuff.
Yeah.
There's again some kind of phlebotomy here. I can't remember. I know what it is.
The
It's
damage.
it's the thing that the robot will find. We had to lay in that the robot will look for Willow if it's
Oh, yes, we'll
damaged.
find, yes, when it gets damaged, it finds, well, it has a homing beacon.
That was to get the Buffy bot to lead them to, I can't remember, but there was some.
That flesh does not look that, but, for Spike to have spent so many nights with that robot.
But isn't that like all movie robots that whenever they look
With the
completely
close-up.
flesh-like, but every time they go to a close-up, it suddenly looks like
Yes.
neoprene?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a TV staple. Yeah,
We have some great makeup going on this year.
actually we do. We have some amazing makeup. You can even see the seam there, or this is a very good television, but you can see where the application is of that scar up on her head. Oh well, we try. We work on a very
Let's go
tight
back and fix
schedule.
it.
All melancholy. Oh, this was a pitch. This was Joss's pitch, of course. One of the
right.
wonderful things about being a writer on Buffy is that you really pour your heart and sweat and hours of painstaking work into a script, and someone will come up to you and go, "Oh, the part I loved." And you'll say, yeah, the part that Joss came up with. And pretty
Right.
much, I'd say 9 times out of 10, when it's not something that Joss came up with, it's like a holiday for me. I take a day off. Because, 1/10 of the time. But this was Joss's pitch that that Dawn go in and sleep with the
She snuggles with
neoprene-stomached robot.
Missing her sister so much, needing any kind of comfort at all.
Yeah, which was...
It's heartbreaking.
That is heartbreaking. He's freaky.
I don't know how he thinks of that stuff.
I don't know. Well, I think he was raised by a robot.
Oh,
actually.
right.
All that snuggling with his robot mom, probably.
Okay, I probably shouldn't go any further than snuggling with his robot mom.
Should we go back to his sexual prowess?
Yes. Big.
Okay,
big. Oh, big. There's Sunnydale.
That's Santa Barbara, California.
Yes, which we don't often see.
This is all I remember about this scene is it's real talky, and I don't think Tony has an opportunity to clean his glasses. Maybe not until later.
I thought it was a beautiful scene. I thought there was a lot. There's a lot of really touching scenes in here.
Sarah here, just gonna alert you to
Sarah versus Sarah.
Yeah.
I mean, this is where Tony or Giles is essentially realizing that he is no longer needed. The robot makes him realize that his job is really done. He's gotten his Slayer killed.
We pulled a very funny thing in this season, though, I thought, which is that that Giles goes away, and then he comes back, and then he goes away, and then he comes back. but
that's a parent. A parent has to let the children grow up. They have, you have to leave them on their own.
True.
But when they get into a really big jam,
right.
I still have my dad to turn to or my mom.
Right.
And I think it works, even though he came back a few times. And my God, I thought it was glorious when he came back. Every time he came back,
the time he came back at the end was great. I mean, that was awesome. But it was just a funny thing, especially the second time he left. We realized we couldn't play.
Yes, you can't play the goodbye anymore.
We couldn't play the big goodbye, angsty scene, which was referred to in different. I love that because it comes up later, but it was referred to in different reviews as both, touching and incredibly maudlin. I was like, that's me. Referred to all my episodes. Because basically, Maudlin Noxon. I'm basically trying to write my so-called life with vampires. That's basically what I would like to do.
I personally think that's when Buffy's at its best. No, I mean, for all the, we kind of tease the fact that Tony is not like our big demographic grabber. He's like, do people tune in for the older stuffy British guy? But he does lend a gravity to the show that I think makes it makes everything else work so nicely.
And it was really missing when he was gone. You feel it much more than I think we anticipated, but that the center felt like it was kind of missing. He did clean his glasses, however, in that last scene.
God bless him.
If you're a careful watcher of Buffy, Tony comes from a school which actually I admire, and I think he's right. But it's funny if you watch, which is that he really doesn't like to just be standing around. He thinks that that's just not real, and he's right that in life, actors, people don't generally just stand around listening to each other. They're usually
pick up things,
doing
they
something.
Stuff,
and he's made this observation, to me time and time again, because I'm constantly saying, Tony, put down the banana, or the string of Christmas lights, or the it's pretty funny. At one time, I thought he had sort of developed an eating disorder, because every time we cut to him, he had something else to eat in his mouth, but he was just trying to keep it real. These guys are the big. I don't know why they don't have noses. Actually,
I don't know. I kind of like them.
Yeah, they're pretty good. I mean, I like the straps and stuff.
I was looking. Yeah, there's that sort of Hellraiser sort of look where their skin's pulled back a little bit by hooks in the skin, their flesh.
That's what I'm saying.
This guy's the Weasley vampire. He pretty much worked out. I thought of him as Ratso Rizzo. Is that the character?
Yeah. Dustin Hoffman.
Yeah, there's just little.
No, he's a little more.
feet.
He's a little broader than
Yeah.
Ratso. He's a little more on the funny side.
Yeah, I was hoping that he'd be a little more genuinely pathetic, but
went a different way.
these guys are just evil because they can't smell.
Oh, I've been near those guys. They smell. Don't you? They smell.
They're just really resentful. They're like, put up this flower to my face. Nothing happens. Why? And here they go, let's ride. Yeah, you haven't written a script until you write the words, let's ride.
I gotta tell you, I was always kind of weirded out by the fact this was all in the daytime.
I know.
Because I always imagine these guys being much more, just in the dark. They're creatures of the night. And here they're in broad daylight riding around.
It looks like they kind of go
nobody
to a picnic.
notices. Yeah, nobody notices these monsters on motorcycles.
The first cut of this, I have to say, was pretty shocking. Although I think it's just shocking any way you slice it.
Also, Allison
very hard
pretty much
time.
fell apart.
Yep.
Even though it was a pretend deer and a pretend knife and everything else. But she had a very hard time doing this scene.
Yeah, she was crying. We all had to go out there and be with her.
Oh, we cut so much around the blood.
Yeah.
Just noticed that. We didn't. I mean, it was a little bit more graphic.
Originally, there was a shot of the deer and her hand with the knife, much closer to the deer, and you saw some blood, and you saw her putting blood into a little tiny chalice, and we had to cut all that out. It was. That
was her being really freaked out. Just Allie. I mean, Allie was legitimately.
No, I mean, I had to go out on the set there and hang out with her that day and just kind of.
I was with you.
Yeah, that's right. We were both there. Because she was really, really upset about it and didn't want to do it. And at one point, we were going to shoot no animals were hurt in the course of this.
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Willow was going to come out at the end and say, with the deer, and say, no animals were hurt in the
deer
course
didn't really hurt it. And the other thing about that day was that the deer was just adorable, but just doing its own thing, man. It would come out from behind that bush and then just go wandering off after a butterfly.
You can't get a deer to hit its mark.
No, especially not a baby deer.
Yeah.
So what you see on film is that deer, ever so gently and tentatively creeping out of the forest. And in fact, there were like 3 or 4 people with like meat just outside of the shot.
Well, Allie had milk on her hands, didn't she?
Yeah.
Didn't they put milk? They put milk on her hands for the deer to smell and to come.
And came and licked a little milk, and it was actually the cutest thing in the world.
Yes.
But
until we killed it.
Until we killed it violently. Oh, there's the hot lesbian action for this episode. That was it.
No, they had a kiss in the beginning.
Oh, did they?
They had a kiss in the hall.
I felt that was much more, there was more meaning in that. Oh, here's the maudlin scene.
Yeah, well, this maudlin scene was beautiful.
Well,
it was a beautiful maudlin scene.
Depends who you talk to, I guess. Ain't it cool?
Look, anyone who has affection for the show,
we had to make a big deal out of it.
We had to.
We had to do the long shot of the lonely guy and do the big scene.
Right.
Joss was, he read the scene the first time and he was like, man, this is long and maudlin. Let's shoot it. I remember that Allie was a little bummed out that she didn't get to do the monster. The Gur Arg. We also went to great lengths to get the exactly right kind of finger monster. See the one she had in her hand? I had something very specific in mind. And I sent that poor prop guy out a couple times because he had these things that were like 6 inches tall, and I just wanted to be really tiny and lame. And turned out that they were like eraser monsters you give in party favors. And wasn't it worth it, America?
Oh, there she is, number 7.
Oh, number 7.
Dawn, number 7.
Yep.
Well, that was 9. I'm sorry.
And actually, the funny thing was that they cried.
It's only maudlin because of the music. Because of the music and a little bit Tony's overplaying a little bit. But other than that, it's not that maudlin.
Not overplaying.
He's not. When I say he's overplaying, I mean
over. You mean?
In the sense that he's playing. He's the being moved by. He's
right.
He does that really well. He does it really well, and it's like laying on like the. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He's a Shakespearean actor. He's from England.
He's playing to the rafters.
He's playing to England, where he's about to go from the Sunnydale airport, which makes no sense. But we decided to stretch reality here. But the interesting thing was that, at least for the first couple takes, these guys, they all cried. Because they knew that Tony was really going home soon. Not right away, but soon.
And we didn't... we knew he was coming back at that point, of course.
Yeah. But
we knew he was coming back as early as the next few episodes, because how could he not come back once he found out Buffy was back?
But even though, I think she looks amazing there. I have to say, every time I saw her in that shot, I was like, just blown away.
Oh, she's number 7.
Number 7. How can you not love number 7?
Empowers you.
Yeah, she's grown up so much already.
Yeah,
you look at her this season; it's frightening.
And what's so funny is that with Michelle is that I think when we first talked about Dawn, she was going to be a much younger child.
She's going to be like, we looked at girls who were like 9.
9, yeah.
But then Joss felt like that was like the cute kid thing too much. It was like, what show? It was like Welcome Back, or...
Well, the Partridge Family, the Brady Bunch, Oliver.
It's sort of a jump the shark kind of thing when you get the Moppet.
Right.
We saw a couple of Moppets that were pretty damn cute, but the other thing is we couldn't play kind of teen angst with a Moppet.
Right.
Yeah, God, this does go on. Sorry.
Let's talk about
let's go to long close-ups of them all. I can't believe he's leaving. And they get over it pretty quickly, actually. I'm like, remember that guy? That guy who used to be here with the English accent?
No, see how slowly they're walking. They're not.
They're still there. Okay, they're not over it yet.
They have that sad, slow walk of people who don't want to stay in frame.
We were glad to. Here's a small thing. It's one of those little things, but it's the kind of thing that kind of rocks your world if you're a big geek like I am, which is that Willow was wearing all white when she killed the deer, and then the next scene she's wearing blood red.
Yes. And
we never really, refer to that, but something's changed. And of course, going back to the deer killing, because, it's really all about that for me. That scene is basically the whole scene, the whole show. But
well, you were just saying before you'd wish that it took them more to bring Buffy back, and that was the thing that was the thing we hung it on. We took Willow, probably the sweetest character, one of the sweetest characters we have, and we had her murder an innocent animal.
But we also were foreshadowing the whole Willow arc, and we knew that...
Well, now you're really getting ahead of yourself.
But it's pertinent to this episode because we put this in part because she was capable of something. And in fact, this scene, and how kind of creepy and over the top it gets in terms of the stuff that happens to her was also foreshadowing that she was going to a much darker place.
Right.
And the fact that she knew that this spell was really going to take this much out of her and she'd not told anybody else was all about this sort of growing secrecy of her powers and the stuff she was hiding from everybody. This was actually on stage. We realized when we did the schedule that there was way too much night exterior to be able to get the show done in time. So they built on stage, they brought in actual grass and trees and basically recreated the outdoor location, which is so cool.
Yeah,
It
really
smelled
well.
like grass inside. It was
Yeah.
amazing. And then, of course, after that, I was like, well, can't we do it inside? Like, no, that was a special occasion. So, and you can kind of see the outline of the grave. You can see where we kind of laid in the what is it called? Peat moss? No, it's
Sod.
sod. Yes,
Yeah.
sod.
Peat sod.
Peat sod. Pizza sod. Man. Yeah, and just in writing this, I wanted it to be as extreme as it could be. That's where we got to the bugs and stuff crawling beneath her skin.
Which they ripped off in The Mummy.
Ripper offers.
Or did we rip it off in The Mummy? Oh, sorry.
Yes, we have no minds of our own. Basically, our shows are just sort of pastiche of the movies we saw over the summer.
They're not rip-offs, they're pastiche.
Homage. There you can kind of see that Sunnydale Street is only about 100 feet long.
Only 5 people live there.
You can kind of see that. This is such sort of like lame mayhem, isn't it? Look at that guy. I'm going to jump over that guy.
It's not quite Road Warrior, but...
I'm going to touch his back.
You do what you can do.
Look, I'm bad. I'm driving around in a cafe. Look how lame that
see,
is.
I know.
Oh.
Well, it's hard to do. It's the wide shots that ruin it.
There, act out.
It's like you almost really have to, it works fine in close-ups.
Yeah, like this is
The
all
chaos,
good.
that's great. Yes. The Molotov wipeout.
Yeah.
Blackout.
And the bikers all sort of look like they have mullets. It's just sort of sad. Okay, and here's the snake thing. This was.
Yeah, that's
It looks
great.
like what it is, which is CGI. There was really no better way to do it, but it's still kind of scary.
Yeah, it doesn't. The earlier part looks.
Yeah, see, that looks fake.
Yeah.
But that's cool.
Yeah. But that's a real snake, isn't it? Is that the CGI, or is that CGI too?
That was CGI. They
Okay, that's cool.
yeah.
I thought we used a practical there.
We're so bad. We're going into Sunnydale and we're gonna steal calculators. I stole that from some movie too.
Yeah, that was Body Snatchers.
Ah,
I
thanks.
think.
Yeah. Old Buffy bot.
Who's that guy and why is he riding with him? There's all these demons and there's this one guy. Look at that
I
guy.
know.
There's this guy. Look, he's like, where'd they
Wait
pick
a minute.
him up?
This isn't my gang.
Hey, wait a minute. Yeah.
Oh, you can see back here's
Oh,
a
yeah,
little
let's go.
fun
Look,
thing.
this guy wearing the German helmet. World War I German helmet.
He's their.
He's Eric von Zipper all of a sudden.
Look, they're not a exclusionist gang. Just because they're marauders doesn't mean they're racist.
What was his name again?
This guy.
Razor, right?
Razor. Oh, and that actor turned out to be kind of. Well, it worked out in the end. Oh, see that works.
And hence his name.
That works. See, that shot was cool.
Yeah.
That one kind of.
Well, it was great because over the rooftops and stuff. Yeah. It was the wide shots on the ground that I think. Oh.
And here we had a lot of discussion of what color is bad energy. Is it red? Is it black?
It's purple.
Yeah.
Little
See,
Christmas
this is
lights.
where that whole thing came in. Like, we needed the gang to get to them, to interrupt the spell.
Right. So
And that's why the Buffy bot, for some reason,
Would
has
lead them,
programming that leads her back to Willow. That looks cool.
Buffy Bot also seems to exhibit a lot of emotion sometimes when
I know, for a robot.
for a robot when we wanted to.
Right.
Willow, help me.
Right, exactly.
Well, you wanted to name him. Oh, I remember Pike. Remember an early draft named
right.
Pike, which Marty had never seen the Buffy the movie,
No, I never had.
and
That's
that was.
Joss has asked me actually never to see the movie. He felt like when I first started working on the show, I said, "Oh, great, I'll run out and see the movie because I've never seen it." And he asked me not to. He said that he thought the movie was not the tone that he was going for with the show at all, and he didn't want me to get confused. And I think now at this point I could probably safely watch it.
Just for a laugh.
It would be good for a laugh.
Yeah, it's
But,
just like some parallel universe where Buffy existed in a different context.
She looked totally different. Yeah. Okay, see now, here we
Watch.
go into the ground. See, that's what that... We had a lot of trouble with this, boy. Whew.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, I remember.
We had a
I wanted
lot
to
of
do. I remember.
trouble.
Yeah,
Not this part so much.
Yeah,
that
that
part
actually worked. That
worked.
turned out
Harassing. This is classic biker gang stuff, though. Biker gangs don't actually do much. They just drum right around a lot.
Yeah.
Threateningly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually some chick.
Oh, yeah, you're right. The robot is awfully expressive.
Yeah.
Maybe she's
Yeah,
like
I was-
Spike. Maybe she's just slowly getting her soul.
Oh, that just makes her death a little bit much more tragic.
Exactly. She was starting to feel like a real boy.
Oh, I am a real girl now. Oh.
Oh, so there's more hot lesbian action. That's about as hot as it got.
Yeah. Well, they're
Until the
apart,
very end.
That's true. They're apart for most of that.
It's very chaste love.
I have to kind of leave a lot of the hot lesbian action for Joss. He prefers that to be his domain. He
Okay,
feels
ladies
cheated.
and gentlemen, we can tell the truth about what it wasn't political correctness that brought Tara and Willow together. It was hot girl on girl love. Look, don't they look exactly the same there?
That's not even Buffy.
I
That's
know,
no Emma looks like
I
everyone.
know.
She's a chameleon.
Yeah.
That's
an
great
arty
for this-
shot.
Yes.
And then back down through the earth.
Back down through yes. Past the fake too.
She saved the world a lot. That was so great. It was Joss, of course. Is in fact a normal sized coffin.
Yeah,
And Sarah is that tiny. She's what, 5'2", maybe?
No.
Not
I
even.
don't think so.
Not
More like
even, and
5'1".
about 72 pounds. So,
72 pounds of solid muscle.
that's right, of Taekwondo action. But oh yeah, I mean, one of the biggest struggles of this whole two-parter, wouldn't you say, David, was how much dirt was going to be in Sarah's hair.
Yes. Yes, that was a very big issue. The idea of somebody having to crawl out of their grave, and what would they actually look like? Well, that's not fully realized here, I don't think.
No, perhaps not. We negotiated to a couple of smudges, some sort of ladylike smudges, and she comes out looking pretty fabulous. Actually, she's got like a Donna Karan dress on, and her hair is sort of must to kind of Anne Margaret.
It's a little blown out. It's a little blown. It's something because she had a blow dry or something.
Yeah.
I mean, I always imagined her hair being. We're getting ahead of ourselves here because she hasn't crawled out yet.
No.
But her hair was. I always imagined her hair was going to be flat and matted down, and a little bit more. It was definitely meant to be an homage to Carrie. The way Carrie looked when she's walking down the street, like kind of sad and pathetic, yet incredibly powerful. And we didn't quite get that.
No, we got more. She looked like she could go dance in clam bake. She had kind of fabulous 60s hair. I don't know why, but again, the afterlife, great stylist. This is very touching. This scene is really beautiful, if I do say so. To you, David Fury.
You may say so to me.
Yes.
Since I don't remember the scene.
Really?
Was this a good scene?
Yeah, remember she realizes that there's no...
there's no way.
There's
She's
no coming
gone,
back.
right.
Allie is our, just champion
Our go-to
crier.
person, yes.
Oh, man, she can cry like nobody's business. And you just sort of go down and she'll be like, there at the craft service table going like, Butterfingers, and sticking gummy bears in her ears and stuff. And then, you'll say, you go action and blah, she's crying.
Yeah, she can call it out like nobody's business.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's sense memory or if it's
I don't know. But
it's like one of those things, you don't want to go there. You don't know what.
Oh, and the Buffy vision, that was also a tough thing. Like, when did we use Buffy vision?
Right.
Remember?
There's the Buffy bot. No, wait, it's Emma.
It's Emma. Yeah.
You never quite know.
Yeah. This scene almost got cut about 3 times. We just kept going, is this doing anything for us? Then we realized we had some vital piece of information. Because it just, for one thing, these villains, not very scary.
Yeah.
Not super perceptive either. Because they're right behind that fake rock.
Well, they can't smell them, obviously.
That's true.
If they can't see them,
Yeah.
they're
And
pretty
they
much...
can't smell them because they got no nose.
They're shit out of luck, I mean...
It's true.
I said shit because I was told I could curse.
That's right.
Shit.
We had to
Jesus
revoice. That's right. We had to revoice all of these demons because their masks were prohibitive. They
Very
did
hard
not
to talk.
allow them to speak well. So they were always like, "Let's go get the voice."
Yeah, that's true. A lot of the lesser vampires, they're it's very hard to speak in those prosthetics with those teeth. And
we're constantly dubbing our monsters because they often are that scary.
We're hereby a Sir Monster. That's not that kind of dubbing.
Yes, exactly. Different dubbing.
Okay, here's the scene you're talking about.
Yeah, we are so bad. We're just gonna blow stuff up.
Now watch this on the window here. It's coming up.
We break mailboxes.
We break crappy little bit.
We
See
interfere
the
with
window?
the delivery.
See the window there? Go ahead, explain, Mike.
Oh, just that the editor did that. The reflection in the window wasn't actually there. He took another shot and laid it over that shot just to make it look like there was reflection.
Yeah, was that neat? Was that neat
I
thing?
think it impressed us probably more than
Everybody
America.
put it on pause now and rewind
Yeah.
and look at that again.
It's so beautiful. See? That is the other shot, transposed or something.
And,
I don't know what the right word is, but
no, it's superimposed.
It's superimposed
on top
over-
of that picture, and it
yeah.
looks like reflection in the glass.
yep.
Brilliant.
This
editor.
also was pretty pivotal
Is
because
that Peter Pazinski? Or,
Peter Pazinski, our ace editor.
Peter?
Isn't that, I think, in fact, he is Ace. Isn't that the name of their union or something?
Yes.
Well, it is true. This is funny because this is the sequence, I think, that convinced people that Spike had gone fully good. The fact that he was still around and protecting Dawn and stuff, even though he thought Buffy was dead.
Right.
The fact that's what people keep, referring to, and the many letters I've gotten about how good Spike is now and why can't he be with Buffy and what is wrong with me in particular for saying that I don't think that they make a great couple. Because I think this convinced them, this whole thing convinced them that he clearly had become
So
good
basically,
in his
it's
heart.
my fault.
Yeah,
It's
thanks,
all
David.
my fault. Sorry.
Many. You know what? I'll just tell them now.
Like I don't get letters. I don't get letters.
I actually know your email address. I could give it right now.
I know yours too.
Yeah, all right.
There's Buffy crawling out. Look, she looks spectacular.
Oh, no, but she has a leaf in her hair. That means she's been dead a long time.
Look at it. It's combed. It's neatly combed
She
hair.
just looks
that
awesome. If
She's
I looked
crawled out of 6
that
feet
good
of
on
rotted
a normal
soil.
day. Yep.
That's amazing.
I know, it's like the smudge, it looks like bronzer,
Yes.
God. Well, however, that shot is pretty great.
Coming around to see your own grave.
We were
Her own
really
gravestone.
specific about that. Joss had an image in his head, and he just wanted, he wanted something very specific there. So we went over it again and again, but he got it, and it's a good, strong image. And here's Buffy and an externalization of her inner turmoil.
Yes, the chaos in her
yes.
soul. Where am I? This looks like hell.
That can't be Sunnydale,
And
but
we're
God,
thinking-
I look fabulous.
But look, and we had to get it. You see the dress that we had to tear the hem of it.
Yeah, right.
Because the dress looks so spectacular.
Yeah, and it really, now it looks just like this season's latest, the torn hem just out of the grave look.
Right.
That's popularized by Sarah Michelle Gellar. See, she has a little dirt on her there.
Yeah, the cross is still neatly, it's not like thrown back, whatever. And the high heels.
Up. That was at the Warner Brothers Ranch, right? Did you go out there for
No,
that?
I was not there for that.
And this is
That's
the
exactly what it
magic
looks
box,
like,
which takes a lot of heat in season 6 later on.
Oh my God, it's like
This
the
is my
destruction of
favorite
the
line coming
Enterprise.
up. Oh, wait, it's my favorite line of the whole 2 hours. Where is it? Or did she already say it? Oh, no, it comes when she's going to meditate.
Well, I'm curious.
We're burning books. They're also,
We burn
they're also
books.
censors. That's the Catcher in the Rye. They're like, we object to this.
That one?
No, I like that one
Okay.
too. No, it's the one. What does she say when she's about to?
Yoga?
Yes. Yeah, the yoga line. That's my favorite, and the whole 2 hours.
Wow. That's funny. All my favorite stuff's in your half.
Aw, that's sweet. It's like the gift of the man guy.
Magi.
Something. Is that what it's called? The magi?
Magi.
Magpie? The gift of the magpie.
Gift of the gift of the marzipan.
A lesser known fairy tale.
Yes.
The gift of the magpie. It's a worm.
See, this I like because I got to do an homage a little bit to Fear itself when Willow tries to conjure a little ball of light that would help.
There was
That great line that I stepped over.
It's great.
And she gets this conjuring ball of light to help him get out of the house.
That's right.
And so I got to do an homage to that.
To call back to that.
Call back.
You know?
And as a callback, and as that they are more powerful, you'll notice the ball of light is bigger.
Bigger.
It's bigger because they're more powerful now.
It's funny. I noticed that it's sort of like girls wearing the same outfit to the same place twice. They'll never do it. The girls never use the same spell, hardly ever. It's like even though a spell could
That's
do
right. It
more
works
than
perfectly
once,
well.
they're always like, no, I did that spell last year. It's so
Right.
it's so 2000.
That's right.
It's so season 5. I'm just not going to do that spell again.
Yes, they don't seem to make good uses out of their powers. They have to find a new one.
Oh, see, that's what I was talking about earlier. That why didn't you tell us that you were gonna have snake throw up action? Because she's keeping secrets, and it's begun.
The darkness.
We knew. I mean, we've talked about this a lot, but we knew already how this season was going to end. One of the amazing things about working with Joss is he'll come in at the beginning of the season, or actually usually more toward the end of the previous season, and tell us, I've already got next season figured out. Here's the beginning, middle, and end. I have no idea how we get from one place to another, but here comes that light you were talking about.
And it's between those two.
Yeah.
So we just set up the end right there, like where she's going to go, and Xander will be the
Yeah, he knew all that.
guy that brings her back.
There's a lot of questions along the way. Speaking for season 7, which we're working on right now, we know the beginning, middle, and end, and very little else. We're very confused, but
It's a very big bug.
it's a bug thing. I don't know, something about Allie in this little bit just made me love her.
Yeah.
How happy she gets.
Yeah,
See?
right here.
Yeah, because it's Tara, and she loves her. Because she loves her, and then she goes along. And look at that's a little mincy, isn't it? Oh, there I go.
That works.
See, in this terrible reality, cars are like monsters.
Look at that smudge on her head. My God, you must have. Where did you come from? What's happened to you, young lady?
This was a good gag. This actually, I mean, it worked pretty well. It probably wasn't what you saw in your head.
No, wait, what, the football helmet?
The stop in the
Oh,
motorcycle.
no. Yeah, it wasn't exactly, but it worked. Yeah. It's a hard thing to pull off when you have somebody, once somebody is suspended off the ground, there's a thin line between ridiculous and really cool, and someone actually can jump up really high, and of course we have to do that with a wire.
Right.
Wire gags are really tricky unless they're done exactly right.
It's funny, I remember Joss wanted to reshoot this because Spike telegraphs the thing about looks like fun. If you watch that, you'll see that he starts to smile as he's watching, and we didn't have any other footage. We didn't want him to look like he was into it at all until he said that line about looks like fun, but we decided in the end it wasn't, cost effective to go back and reshoot it, but that's something he would have liked to do.
Yeah, this was a bigger moment. We built it pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but you can see how we cut around the actual
It was going to be really
moment.
cool, just him jumping up and kicking him off the bike. It was going to be great.
It's supposed to be really Matrix style, but not so much. Yeah, I don't know. Those monster masks don't quite work.
What a hard door to get through.
It's a good thing those monsters don't want to come in there. It's funny. I don't know. We spend so much time in the mixing process, and I know every single line that we've looped or everything, and I always hear them, and I wonder if America does. I realize I watch television at home, and I can't ever tell. I'm never sure if they loop something or not. Occasionally, but I'm so aware of them; they always stand out. Really. Oh, that's another good joke.
Oh, Tito. Yes, Tito at work, who became a character. Did we actually brought him in somewhere, didn't we?
Yeah, isn't he?
At the wedding. Isn't Tito at the wedding?
He's at the wedding, but didn't he also make an appearance someplace else? He became or maybe he was in the, yeah. But he definitely had a life.
Oh, the construction site?
Yeah.
Maybe Life Serial, was Tito there?
No, you know what it was? It was in Doug's episode. It was in the one about
the plumber.
About the plumber. He shows up in episode 3, wasn't it?
That's right. Yes.
4.
Yeah.
Episode 4. Oh gosh, I guess
there's
a lot more hot girl and girl action than I thought, because there's some stroking going on right here.
Yeah. We take it wherever we can get it.
Well, it all makes me sad now, because Tara,
I know.
Yeah. For those of you who are just watching the season, I won't say. I just gave it away. And so begins the angst of season 6.
Yes, the
much lauded angst of season 6. Pretty much people aren't cheering up until season 7.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, there's some lighthearted romps, but then people bum right out again. I'll tell you one thing, I love the score in this sequence.
Yes.
I thought the composer did a great job with this. It was nice to have just a different flavor than what we usually have. Hans and Margaret.
Her hair did grow out quite a bit in depth.
Well, they say don't your hair and your fingernails continue to grow. I think Sarah actually did say that. She said that, but my hair would keep growing.
Yes, and your fingernails would too.
And darken or lighten.
And curl over.
Or something.
I think that was one woman. I think we had one. That was the woman.
That was the one female.
That's their
demon.
I like this guy.
He was my favorite.
Yeah. Here's a little foreshadowing of a gun. Guns are something we don't usually do on Buffy.
That's right. That's right.
And so it was sort of significant.
That's
I always
right. I
felt
forgot about this.
that we introduced. I purposely had a gun in there rather than some phlebotomist weapon.
Again, because we knew that there was going to be the use of a gun later in the season.
Right.
This is cool.
Yes. The poor Buffy.
And look, she looks so innocent. She's so
a little confused.
guileless there. Not Giles-less, but guileless.
There's a moment where they see each other.
And I think this has now become fodder for lots of academic...
Yes, the misogyny of season 6.
The misogyny of season 6, not to mention the existential, angst of, death and seeing your own destruction. And they actually have symposiums and stuff like this, which we always threaten to go as a group, to these academic papers.
But then we remember we have to produce a television show. Can't spend a lot of time doing that.
Here's my nightmare future. This is my nightmare, is that I never work on another successful series again, and all I do is go to Buffy conventions and symposiums and say, well, actually, I happen to have Marti and Noxon right here. And you Marti in the old age home, and I'm like, do you remember season 7?
You know nothing of my work.
You know nothing of my work. Please, God, no. Please, let me go on to something.
You want to see Maudlin? I'll show you Maudlin.
That's right. Oh, God, this scene drove Joss crazy because they're walking so slowly.
That's the problem with so many of our walk and talk scenes. I mean, we invariably people walk slowly because we don't have that big a set. We don't have these, and we have to use as much as we can and make it natural, but what you have to do is everybody just kind of meanders. So all of the tension and all of the action is evaporates because no one's moving with any purpose or urgency.
It's like we're being chased by, potentially, terrorized by
Yeah.
terrible guys. Let's amble.
Yeah. I mean, what's the option? But they could stand there and talk, but is that going to be any better?
Right. And here's them seeing
Buffy.
Aminal Buffy. It's Buffy Puppet. She looks fabulous.
Hey, Will, next time this thing's damaged.
Willow knows.
Willow knows. And we had to reshoot that, didn't we?
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
Because he didn't have a close-up.
Right.
And her performance was very hard.
As great as David is, as great as a lot of our directors are, invariably shots are missed.
I mean that's not a comment
shot.
on David at all because he did a great job on these. But it's inevitable that in the course of
and for shots missed, see episode 11, Gone.
Exactly. I mean it's heart-wrenching when you're directing because you know that you're just as the days whiz by that you're messing something up. But it's interesting to realize when you go back and see what small things make such a huge difference if you get it right or you don't get it right. And almost inevitably where things go wrong is that we miss the emotion of the moment. That in the haste to get everything done and to get the shots and stuff, we forget what the reality for a character is, and we don't quite capture what they need. And that's the stuff we go back for so often. It's just the look, the intention to sell the moment. Because really, what's important in the show is that the drama's working. Well, and hot lesbian action.
What you have to do is just to get those shots, you have to leave it to the actors to what the scene's about. Nail it here. And sometimes you're moving so fast you can't quite get it, and they can't get there fast enough.
And sometimes, you just forget. That's the where I feel like the queen of lameness. You'll be down on set, and it'll be 11 o'clock at night, and you'll be again. Let's go back to the Butterfingers and the gummy bears. Just suddenly you'll just forget sort of like where things are in the whole process. The only person who doesn't do that is Joss, but.
Right.
That's because he's a
That's the funny thing of Anya just saying, here's something that'll cheer you up. Sandra and I are engaged.
That's right. That worked.
Like, you're happy?
That worked. I'm not too happy about it. But she looked kind of kittenish there, doesn't she?
Yes.
Yeah. She's like, I'm a mournful kitten. You just saw Emma go to fix her hair. It's one of my huge complaints, and they have to do it because they can't play a scene with hair stuck in their face.
Right.
But they're constantly, sort of rearranging hair pieces. Fire bad.
More than one.
It always throws them off.
Okay, that's a Joss line.
Is it?
Yeah,
Oh,
I can take note. That's the man which is Joss.
Man, which is Joss. Yeah, one thing about these 2 episodes I will say is, you managed to mine as much funny as you could out of the scenarios, but these were not great honkin' big laughy episodes.
No.
Which was, it's always tough to bring people into it was really like almost like a 4-parter, like the last 2 episodes of season 5 and the first 2 episodes of season 6 really all run together. And if you weren't watching the end of last season, it must have been very hard to kind of jump in.
I'd even put Jane's episode number 3 in there too.
That's true. That's true. Number 3.
That's continuous as well off this.
Yeah, it's true. We definitely tried to address that in season 7 for the opener because we were aware that these episodes, as strong as I think they turned out, they really were. Boy, they were heavily dependent upon understanding exactly where everybody was at.
Yeah, it's very hard to come into it.
And it's tough for UPN, I'm sure, too, because here we were starting on a new network, and our 2-hour season premiere was absolutely, they were trying to get all these new viewers in, and if you weren't watching, you'd be like, Buffy, what? The bot and the heck and the hey and the
And Buffy
nanny?
doesn't get to be really Buffy. It didn't really define the show.
Yeah.
It was kind of...
We screwed up. Maybe
Well,
if we move to,
all
we're actually moving to PAX next year. It's going to be Touched by Buffy, and it's going to be a whole different thing. And we're going to introduce the whole thing over again. So
I think Touched by Buffy should be on it. Spice Channel.
Wah, wah, wah.
Look, I got blood on my lip.
I'm slightly mussed. And here's where she's supposed to go. Ape, ape, shit. She's supposed to be
Yeah,
crazy.
she's supposed to be crazy, insane,
crazy
animal. And this is what's happening.
It just occurs to me, too, that Willow kind of wore a prom dress to do the magic spell. It's not quite what I saw.
There's a
her
wear
in.
game. It doesn't quite,
Yeah. This fight got pretty well. Didn't we have to reshoot some of this, too?
I don't remember.
Hey, I wonder where all those leather jackets for the Hellions went.
I love one.
Yeah, exactly. I wonder... We never get wardrobe,
No.
America, you probably think that we just...
You think I'm probably wearing Xander Harris's clothes right now.
Well, you're wearing the underwear.
Yes, but... Well, Nick's.
Yeah, but we don't, there's not as many freebies as you'd think. Not that I'm complaining.
Yeah, it's so awful.
Boy, whew, man, we have tough lives. God willing.
It's such a great image of Spike and Donna. I mean, that wound up, of course, in the credits, too.
Yeah, the motorcycle helmet is awesome. And actually, for once we were on an actual street.
Yeah.
Look at that. I mean, and to David's credit, he shot it, big location, actual production value, beautifully lit.
This worked pretty well. I thought that Buffy bought the torso there.
Yeah, it really works. That was Sarah
That
with
is
her
Sarah
head
under
through
a false
hole
pavement.
in the...
Well, that's a fake pavement.
Right.
There. And yes, her head's sticking up through it.
Oldest trick in the book,
raised,
man.
Actually raised.
Actually, we actually cut Sarah's head off and put it on a robot torso, just for its. That's pretty convincing. And then you can see where the little neck. If you look really carefully, you can see where the little fake neck starts that meets her neck.
I'm also looking at Willow's repair job on her head and going, that's really
amazing. Well, to repair it, she just took off that plastic thing on her head that made her look wounded. So.
Oh, here's your problem.
You got a plastic thing on your head. It makes you look like you've got an injury. This was tough. Remember, we had real logic problems here.
Yeah, she had to just intuitively understand that Buffy was somehow back. She didn't know that they were doing a spell. She didn't know they were doing anything to bring Buffy back. But somehow she knew from what the Buffy bot said that Buffy was back.
And that she put together, we had to sort of sell that she would intuit that Buffy, the live Buffy, would go to the tower.
Yes, that was the other element. Well, we actually had originally, we cut it out. Originally, Dawn was following a trail of destruction caused by the Buffy bot.
Right.
We would find different bikers either injured or killed, and Dawn started realizing this is Buffy's work and started following that.
Right.
But those scenes didn't work.
Yeah, it didn't make sense.
Didn't work, so we wound up cutting them and just, well, somehow she knows.
Well, no, we used footage of the tower. We cut in a couple places where it looked like she was looking up.
Oh, right.
And then we cut to some long shots of the tower, so we sort of indicated like she was sort of putting it together.
She already put together the tower even before Buffy does.
Yeah,
Before Buffy actually winds up there, she goes to the tower. Yeah, see, that's another example of, wow, they're walking in kind of casually. Oh.
Jeez.
And let's get in the line here.
You really are.
Let's get in the line.
Yeah, it was really weird because it became... And for her to run off, Buffy was supposed to run off. She has to run by them.
I remember that. You came upstairs.
Yeah,
she said, he has it, so she's running right past
it's supposed to be,
them.
they're walking toward, they're trying to,
Yeah.
Xander's trying to talk to her, and she keeps backing away, and then she runs off. But here she had to do this. Like, Buffy, are you okay? She had to, like, walk around him and run past him. Which, it works.
It's funny, too, because a lot of our daily life is anticipating what's going to drive Joss crazy. And, what things he can live with and what things he can't. And I remember that one. I thought, oh, man, we're going to pay. No, he's going to hate that. And he was like, that's all right.
That's right.
And then it'll be something like, that sweater.
Right.
How could it be so wrong? He's right, but at the same time, you're like, I did not see that coming. See, and this is where I think she kills a guy, and then she looks up and...
Right. And this was a guy that Dawn was going to find.
Right,
we didn't do that.
That's right.
But Buffy kills a guy and then sees the tower there, and then goes off, and then we were going to have Dawn. She was going to find that guy. He was going to be one of many.
I know this is sort of commenting on the end of season 5, but I never thought that tower looked like it was built by crazy people. I mean, I wanted that tower to be really crazy looking.
Yeah.
Instead, it was like, it looks like an oil rig. Guess why? It's an oil rig. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they built a scaffolding around an existing tower structure.
We do have Dawn finding that.
Yeah, but she doesn't really know what it means.
Okay.
We took the thought bubble out.
Oh, and then she goes...
Then she goes, that was a cheat.
Oh, okay. Okay, so we had that. But there was a whole other scene where she winds up in town being terrorized by some guys.
Yeah, we cut that out.
Yeah.
I will tell you something that made me crazy. Like, see, there's our crazy person,
Right.
see, because it has stuff on it. But a thing that made me crazy in this episode was the fact that Dawn's sweater had sparkles on it. I mean, it's a small thing.
It's always something. I know, it's always something.
But it made me crazy because it was like she wouldn't be wearing a happy sweater.
Right.
She wouldn't be. But then again, it's probably the only happy thing in season 6. So.
This was a little present to Amber.
Oh, that she got to be butch.
Yeah,
Not butch. That's the wrong word.
No,
she had to be strong, empowered female.
Amber had come to me so many times because why don't I ever get to kill anybody? Everybody gets to kill demons and vampires. I've never gotten to kill anyone. So I said, well, this is the place. And we're going to threaten Willow.
Right.
And we're going to put an axe in his back. And it's going to be coming from her.
Yeah. Didn't she have a line there, though? Didn't she say something like,
Yeah, no, but nobody...
Kiss this axe, bitch,
kiss
or something?
this axe. Yeah, I believe it was something really... No, it was... I think she said something about don't touch my girl or something. Lay your hands off my girl.
Yeah.
So it was not that interesting either, but...
I should have gone with
We had to
Kiss
reshoot. That was
and
another
Tell.
reshoot. That was another. That shot of we didn't have the shot of Amber, so we had to go back and.
That's what I thought, yeah.
Yeah, but then we didn't do.
So
the
near
one.
here she's remembering
The really
the
cool,
really
expensive
superior.
effects. Season finale.
Although I always thought that Dawn
Joss
looked like she
Jericho.
was dressed for the Renaissance Fair, and that she probably shouldn't criticize the end of season 5 because it was beautiful.
No, because it was gorgeous.
And the music here
Chris
is
Beck.
so beautiful. Chris wrote that for season 5, and boy, does it work.
He did that for 5, and then he came back to do the musical. Musical director for Once More with Feeling.
See, this makes me want to see the last episode of season 5.
No.
We spent a lot of time. This top of the tower was built on stage.
Right.
And it was on hydraulics because, of course, the tower is going to fall apart here any second. And so they're just standing in front of translights. That's what those things are called behind them.
Right, those are those are just photographs.
They're big,
behind them
giant photographs.
that are lit from behind.
Are the negatives that big? Is the camera as big as...
The cameras, they have these 2-mile
They have to
cameras.
hire the Jolly Green Giant.
All right, everybody smile.
Okay, San Fernando Valley, smile.
This is one of those scenes that you do so well that I always feel like I have to channel you or Joss to try and get some genuine
Some
moving
pussification.
emotion. Some pussification that I'm still struggling to do that. I so admire and love it when you guys do it. And this is one time where I did it where Joss liked it.
Yeah.
I mean, he liked
Oh,
what I
it was
did.
Beautiful.
But I never know. I never know because I get to a point where I go, you guys get moved by it still. When you write something that's supposed to be moving, you'll read it again and be moved by it.
We'll
Or
cry.
you'll
We'll cry at our own words.
Yeah.
Oh, come on,
I
that's
think is,
lame. That's not
I
beautiful.
think
That's
it's
just
beautiful.
pathetic. That's called...
I cry in my own words too,
so
but it's a whole different
beautiful
thing.
what I put on this piece of paper. I don't know. I disagree. I think you write this stuff beautifully in many episodes. I just think that everybody gets sort of pigeonholed a little bit.
Yeah.
We start to get it. I sometimes realize that I avoid writing the funny episodes, and I should
and
try.
you write great funny stuff. I mean, you have
Sometimes.
wonderful funny scenes in a
Well,
lot of your episodes.
but we all kind of adhere to these ideas of like this is what we do and this is what we don't do, and then truth. I think as we've all been on the show, people have gotten better and better at doing all kinds of stuff, and it's because the show is not one thing. It's one of the reasons why I love the show so much, and I'm so grateful to have been part of it because you get to write, everything, and every writer on the show has gotten practice doing pretty much every genre.
That's true.
From action to drama to, to these pussified scenes. No, but this turned out beautiful. This is really touching.
It was hard. This was a hard scene. I remember Michelle had a hard time with it.
She did. We worked a lot with her on stage that day.
And nothing could ever live up to the scene at the end of The Gift.
Yeah, that's true.
It was basically a mirrored version of that scene, and that scene was so perfect that all I could do was try to do an homage to it, essentially, in its dialogue.
You could have just put them up there, and Michelle could have said, "Remember season 5? That was great."
Remember what you said to me then? Let's flash back some more.
It's actually a pretty long scene, but it didn't feel that way. And they're
It just falls into the criticism of
I promise I'll do better. I will.
Dawn being whiny. Which it's unfortunate. I mean, because she's a young girl. The thing is, we're conveying this is a young girl alone in the world, and you want to be real with that, but by the same token, you don't want to undersell the whole point of the series, which is female empowerment. And
no, she is acting like
I'm a damsel in distress. Yeah, so I mean, that's what one of the things that's hard about it is. I mean, Dawn had a legitimate reason. She was the victim of season 5.
She
You
really
know,
was.
I mean, she really was.
Yeah.
But so that's why I'm glad that she's grown so much.
Yeah, yeah. We definitely needed to address that, And the other thing is, all of us, you until recently were the only person who had kids, and none of our
Right.
kids are teenagers
Right.
yet.
Right.
And I think that in a way, we just didn't even. Kids are just so much more sophisticated,
Right.
and teenagers are so much more sophisticated
Right.
than I think I realized. You
Right.
get around a real 15-year-old, they're practically in college. They're on their way to being pretty grown up, and
Right.
I don't think that we kind of realized that until we
Yeah.
started writing and getting feedback from people. They were kind
Right.
of
Now,
like,
here's an example of this thing was never going to collapse in the original version when it was just
Right.
going to be 2 episodes. It was going to be a much smaller scene
oh,
where
that's right. Forgot
where
that.
Dawn was going to possibly fall, and Buffy grabs her, and that was it. And they just hold each other. But because this became a 2-hour movie, we needed to do something a little bigger, so we brought down the whole tower.
And that effect actually turned out pretty good.
It
I mean, it
wasn't
looks
bad.
a little Godzilla,
It's, a little bit, but
not too
hey,
bad.
it's television. Folks. It ain't a $50, $60 million movie.
And as a harbinger of the chilling non-emotion to come, look at Buffy's face.
Welcome home
Welcome
to
home.
UPM.
There you go.
Yay.
Thank you, America.
Thank you, Marty. And there's some more credits.
Wow.
And there's Carrie and Peter Brzezinski.
There is. Thomas, it's not what you think. It's not Thomas. Vunker. It's Vunker. It's not how it looks.
Is that Vunker? It's Vunker?
It's Vunker. No, it's, looks like... Arg.